Hello folks, Edification here, talking to you today about the Ultrasabers Dark Warglaive with Obsidian sound as compared to the Master Replica's Darth Vader saber from The Empire Strikes Back. I'm going to start with the Master Replica's saber. These sabers, at first manufactured by Master Replicas and later manufactured by Hasbro, are fine entry pieces into the hobby. They are screen accurate, they look great, they handle well enough for display purposes. The only problem is, you can't really fight with these sabers. You'll damage them. They are very fragile. If you are to hit too hard, you will damage the LEDs that are inside the blade. The blade is comprised of a string of LEDs that run up and down, giving you a scrolling effect when you power the blade on and turn the blade off. This looks very cool. However, if you hit too hard, you will burn out one of these LEDs, leaving you with a dark spot in that chain. Not really what one desires when one pays as much as one does for one of these lightsabers. I don't really care for the hand grips as seen on the Darth Vader saber. These grips are cut pieces of windshield wiper, and the trick to them is that because they stick out so far from the hilt, and because the control box for the hilt, the on-off switch, is raised up in the center of it, it's very difficult to get a very comfortable grip around this saber. It's very unwieldy if for anything but a one-handed grip. Doing two-handed, you can go around, but your thumb has to adjust to where that control box is, and it's really not very wieldy. By comparison, we have the Ultrasabers Dark Warglaive. The Ultrasabers run a very bright LED. It's actually classified as a Class 2 laser device. If someone looks at this LED unprotected, they could be blinded, so be very careful with them. The other part is that the Ultra Edge blades are designed to be fought with. The blade I have on the Dark Warglaive here is one of Ultra's Ultra Edge heavy grade blades. It means that I can go pretty high force when it comes to my practice tools or messing around with friends, and I'm not going to break my blade. That's a big plus for me. Looking at the Dark Warglaive, you can see that the hilt is much longer, actually even with the blade set into the saber degree for the retention screw to hold onto it, it's still longer in total than the Vader saber. The vertical grooves that you see along the hilt make a very good grip surface. They also provide a natural channel to wick sweat away from a bare hand. I tend to fight in gloves, but for those who are fighting barehanded, that's a good point. The other part is you'll see the choke point near the top of the hilt. The choke point allows one to do some pretty fancy moves fairly easily in one hand. The length of the saber also allows for one to do a good two-handed grip when bracing against particular shots or moving and keeping control of the saber. Control of your saber when dealing with a saber like this is very important. I went with the silver claws to make those pop a little bit against the black body. The option does exist to add black claws instead. I also have added a D-ring to the pommel to put it onto my belt. That does not come standard, although Ultrasabers can also add a Covertech wheel for one to place a lightsaber onto a Covertech clip, which will stay very secure on one's belt when wearing it without the blade in. The pommel, you'll notice, is quite long. As a matter of fact, that entire pommel is hollow, and what that does is it allows for one to have amplified sound because that pommel acts as a resonance chamber for the Ultra Obsidian board. The Obsidian board is really an excellent selling point. It's programmable. You can make it sound however you like. You can mix and match many different sounds. You're not limited to the very limited degree of sound that one has on the ForceFX board. ForceFX board has a power up, a power down, an idle hum, a clash, and a swing sound, and that's all you're going to hear. Those sounds just get repeated and cycled whenever the board has a certain trigger happen. On an Obsidian board, you can pack different sounds on. You can have different sounds. You'll have the lockup sounds. You get so much that I really cannot recommend them enough. A lot of different sounds. You've got the lockup feature, whereby if you hear that sound there, you hear the one thing I really don't care for with Ultrasabers right now, I would love to see a slightly better battery case design. The reason being, These battery cases are very snug within the hilts, and the speakers are essentially adhered to them with an adhesive. The problem with that is to get these battery packs out, one has to tap them against a flat surface like a countertop or a table. I recommend putting down a bar towel or a dish rag down first so that you can gently tap your saber out. When doing so, the jarring motion can loosen the adhesive or cause the plastic to fracture. That has happened with me. I've resecured it with a glue, but I would love to see a battery case that encompasses the batteries and the speaker in some sort of clip such that one could slide them out of the saber and not really risk the damage that one does doing the tap method. Otherwise, I've been very happy with this product. It looks bright, as you can see. The Ultrasaber is much brighter than the ForceFX Saber. I just put new batteries into the ForceFX Saber. I also added freshly charged lithium-ion batteries, the type that come with an Obsidian Saber, to the Ultrasaber shortly before shooting this video. And you'll see that those lithium-ion batteries and that Class 2 LED really make a huge difference. You're going to have something that's going to pop at night, really pop during the day. I cannot imagine that you will be unhappy if you order an Ultrasaber with an Obsidian board. I went with a Dark War Glaive. I'm sure you can find one that's great for you.